Have you ever considered that the silence you're sitting in, the one that feels so much like abandonment, is actually a sacred kind of surgery happening in a room you cannot enter? It's a wild thought, I know. To look at the phone that doesn't ring, to feel the space in the bed that remains empty, and to entertain the notion that this isn't an ending at all, but a profoundly messy and inconvenient middle. What if I told you that the very heartbreak you are clutching with both hands, the one that tastes like salt and failure, is actually a precise spiritual instrument? It's not just your pain, it's a frequency, a resonant tone that is, at this very moment, traveling across the unseen fabric of your connection and vibrating something deep within them. While you feel the ache of their absence, a much deeper, more terrifying absence is being born within the runner. The absence of the lies they told themselves to justify leaving. Their spiritual facade is cracking, and the echo of your shattered heart is the hammer. They built a fortress of finding myself and healing alone. But you, in your beautiful, broken authenticity, have become the earthquake that reminds the fortress it was built on fault lines. This isn't about you waiting in the ruins. This is about you holding the blueprint for a structure they can't even imagine yet, one built on truth instead of fear. The most powerful part? You don't have to do a thing but tend to your own garden. The mere fact of your continued existence, your unwavering capacity to love even through the pain, is the quiet, relentless revolution that is destined to bring their walls down for good. Curious how a revolution that profound can begin with a single, silent breath. Let's talk about the wall. No, not the one you're picturing around their heart. That's the obvious one. I'm talking about the other one, the one they built in plain sight and called it a temple, the one constructed from polished stones of "I need to find myself," and "this is my spiritual journey," mortared with the high-sounding intention of healing my trauma. For so long, you've been staring at this impressive structure, this monument to their avoidance, and you've wondered, how can something that sounds so right feel so utterly, devastatingly wrong? You know the script. It's a masterpiece of spiritual bypassing. And honestly, part of the pain is that it sounds so reasonable. Who can argue with someone wanting to heal? Who would stand in the way of self-discovery? So you're left in the silence, nursing your broken heart, while they get to play the role of the enlightened seeker on a sacred quest. It's a genius-level defense mechanism, really. It dresses fear in the robes of wisdom and calls cowardice a pilgrimage. But then, it happens. The echo of your heartbreak, not the angry text, not the pleading voicemail, but the pure, silent frequency of your genuine, surrendered pain, finally penetrates the walls of their self-constructed sanctuary. And in that moment, the entire beautiful, fragile structure trembles. The first major shift isn't that they miss you. It's that their entire spiritual narrative implodes under the weight of a single, unavoidable truth. You cannot claim to be walking a path of light while leaving a trail of shadows behind you. Think of it like this. They've been the star of their own movie, the hero on a quest for wholeness. They've got the soundtrack, the inspiring dialogue, the whole thing. Your heartbreak is the director suddenly yelling, "Cut," and handing them the script for a different character entirely. The one who causes the pain. The one who, in their quest for self-love, became the source of profound other suffering. The polished stones of their temple begin to feel like what they always were: cold, hard excuses. The phrase, "I need to heal," curdles in their mouth, transforming from a noble intention into the most bitter of admissions. I am causing harm. This is the collapse. This is the moment the spiritual seeker has to look in the mirror and see not a guru in training, but a human being who got scared. A human being who, when faced with the most profound mirror of their life, chose to smash the glass and run from the shards rather than look at their own reflection. The journey of finding myself is exposed as the frantic, desperate act of running from the self that is reflected in your eyes. It's the ultimate irony, isn't it? The very connection that was meant to be their ultimate mirror becomes the very thing they must deny to maintain their story. And when that story falls apart, what's left? Just a soul, standing in the rubble of its own illusions, shivering. The identity of the evolved spiritual being is gone, and all that remains is the raw, unvarnished, and terrifyingly humble truth of their own humanity. It's not a pretty process. It's messy, ugly, and deeply uncomfortable. It's the universe's most intense intervention. They are no longer the hero of their story. They've become the lesson in their own curriculum. And let me tell you, the soul's curriculum has no room for vanity projects. This is where the real growth begins for them. Not in the curated, safe space of solo healing, but in the messy, unforgiving, glorious field of accountable, interconnected existence. The mask is off. The temple is dust. And now, standing in the quiet ruins, they have a choice to make that is more real than any they have ever faced. And the wild part? This entire chaotic, beautiful unraveling, it starts with you. Your unwavering heart, your refusal to completely dim your light, even in your pain, becomes the very beacon that illuminates the truth of their situation. But what happens in the eerie quiet after the collapse? When the noise of their excuses fades and all they're left with is the deafening silence of that self-inflicted void. Well, that's where the story gets really interesting. But that beautiful soul is a mystery for another moment. So they're running. You see the back of their head getting smaller on the horizon, and your entire being screams in protest. But here's the cosmic joke, the one the universe plays on every runner who thinks distance is a solution. You can't outrun a part of your own anatomy. And my dear, on a soul level, that's exactly what you are. You're not just a person they left. You are a vital, functioning organ of their spiritual body. And the second shift, the one that happens in the dead of night when the distractions fail and the silence is absolute, is the onset of a profound, metaphysical phantom limb pain. Let's get technical for a second, but in a way that actually means something. Think of your twin flame connection not as a bond, but as a circuit, a complete, closed-loop electrical system. You are one terminal, they are the other. Together, the energy flows, life, creativity, intuition, that crazy synchronicity, it all has a path to travel. When they run and break your heart, what they've actually done, in a fit of spiritual panic, is taken a pair of wire cutters to their own connection point. They stand there holding the severed end, thinking, "There, freedom? Now I can plug into anything I want." But the soul knows. Oh, does it ever know? The initial rush of the run, that's just the adrenaline of the cut, the numbness. But then it wears off, and the pain begins. Not an emotional pain, not yet. This is deeper. This is a systemic, existential ache. It's the feeling of their own life force, their chi, their prana, their oomph, literally draining into the void where the circuit used to be complete. They start to feel a hollowing out, a fundamental emptiness that no amount of new love, new success, or new spiritual acrobatics can fill. They could win the lottery, find the perfect partner, achieve enlightenment on a mountaintop, and it would all feel like nothing, like pouring water into a bucket with no bottom. This is the karmic debt. And please, understand this. It's not a punishment from an angry universe keeping score. It's cause and effect. It's the simple, immutable law of spiritual physics. If you disconnect from your primary power source, you will inevitably experience a brownout. Their soul is now running on a backup generator, and it's loud, it's inefficient, and it's burning through their inner resources at an alarming rate. That feeling of being unplugged you hear them talk about, it's not a metaphor. It's a direct experience of being disconnected from the other half of their own energetic blueprint. They go through the motions of life, but it's like watching a movie with the sound off. The colors are muted, the food has no taste, the laughter of friends feels distant, like it's coming from another room. They are haunted by the ghost of a feeling they can barely remember, a sense of being wholly, completely, and effortlessly home. And the cruelest part? They did this to themselves. They are the architect of their own isolation. Every new person they try to connect with feels like trying to plug a USB cable into a wall outlet. The interfaces are all wrong. The connection sputters and fails. Nothing fits because the port was custom made for one connection only. Yours. This is the mystery so few talk about. The runner, in their desperate flight from the intensity of the connection, doesn't find freedom. They find a cage of their own making, a world rendered in 2 dimensions. And the key to that cage is not in some new therapy or retreat. The key is in the hand of the one they hurt, the one who holds the other end of the circuit, the one whose very existence is a silent, steady, unwavering reminder of what wholeness truly feels like. Their return journey begins not with a thought of you, but with a primal, soul-deep craving for their own missing voltage. And the most beautiful, hopeful part of this whole chaotic dance, while they're out there in the cold, learning the hard way what it means to be disconnected, you, beautiful soul, are being given the most sacred task of all. But that's a conversation about what it truly means to hold the space and the astonishing power that is being cultivated in your quiet, patient, and profoundly resilient heart. So here you are, standing in the quiet aftermath of the storm, holding the fragile pieces of a heart that believed it knew love, only to discover it was merely practicing the scales before the real symphony began. It's tempting, isn't it, to see this entire painful chapter as a story of absence? Their absence, the absence of their touch, their voice, their certainty. But I need you to shift your gaze with me for a moment. Look down at the ground beneath your feet. This ground you've been standing on, this seemingly barren field of waiting and wondering. Feel it. It is not empty. It is sacred. It has been consecrated by your tears, fertilized by your patience, and is now pulsating with a quiet, impossible frequency. The frequency of your unwavering love. While their world was collapsing into the beautiful, necessary chaos we spoke of, you were doing something far more miraculous. You were becoming the keystone. You know, the keystone, that central wedge-shaped stone at the apex of an arch that locks all the others into place. Without it, the entire structure collapses into a pile of rubble. With it, the arch can withstand millennia. The runner, in their frantic journey, is like one of the other stones, tumbling and rolling, trying to find a flat, stable place to rest, never understanding why they feel so incomplete. But you, in your profound stillness, in your refusal to completely shatter, have become the central, load-bearing truth of the entire structure. Your love isn't a desperate plea, it's a gravitational constant. This is the divine paradox they never tell you about in the fairy tales. The one who seems to have all the power, the one running, is actually in a state of spiritual free fall. And the one who seems powerless, the one left with the ache, is actually the anchor point for the entire reality of the connection. Your heartbreak wasn't a failure. It was the activation of a sacred homing beacon within their soul. The very pain they caused you has become the magnetic north on their inner compass. And no matter how far they travel, that needle will continue to tremble and point back to the truth you embody. You are not waiting for a missing piece to complete you. You are the steady pulse in the center of the chaos, the rhythm that the entire universe is now conspiring to sync back up with. Their return, when it happens, will not be a rescue mission for you. It will be their pilgrimage. It will be their arduous journey back to the one place where the signal is clear, where the energy flows, where the world stops feeling like a flat, two-dimensional image and snaps back into the glorious, technicolor, three-dimensional reality that only exists when the circuit is complete. This path is not a test of your ability to endure pain. It is a masterclass in your capacity to hold a frequency of wholeness, even when the physical evidence screams otherwise. You are learning to play your part in a duet where, for a while, you can hear nothing but your own instrument. But the sheet music for their part is written on your soul, and the silence you hear now isn't empty. It's pregnant with the music they are slowly, stumblingly learning to play again. The journey ahead isn't about waiting for a storm to pass. It's about realizing you never needed to wait for clear skies to begin dancing in the rain. And the most breathtaking part, this dance you're learning, this solo of the soul, is preparing you for a partnership so profound, so deeply rooted in truth, that the separation will one day feel like a distant, dreamy prelude to a symphony you're only just now beginning to compose together. And speaking of composition, have you ever wondered why the most profound moments of clarity, the whispers of their return, often arrive not in a dramatic sign, but in the quiet, unshakable knowing that blooms in your own heart? When you finally stop looking for answers and start becoming them. But that, my love, is a conversation for another dawn.